Hi, this is Rabbi Tzvi Mandel of Congregation Kahal B'nai Yisrael, and this Shabbos is Parshas Yisroi, and as we know, we are going to receive the Torah like never before. Both because there is nothing extra in Hashem's Torah, and our relationship to Hashem and Hashem's relationship to us. No one is unimportant. So in this generation, where we are right now, with all our faults and all our smallness, the greatest thing there can be is to be connected to Hashem, and Hashem wanting to be with us and wanting to give us the Torah, and us receiving the Torah. And so, Moshe Yadaber, Moshe spoke, but it doesn't say spoke, it says he will speak. So the Chassidish Svarim say, Asadu b'chol dar v'dar, t'daber im kol echad v'echad. Moshe speaks, will speak in every generation to every single one of us. L'chol mi sheba l'tar l'kabel olav el Torah, medaber Moshe imay. Whoever comes to cleanse himself, to be pure, and to take upon himself the yoke of the Torah, Moshe speaks to him. And both the speaking and the thoughts, how much it's necessary to be joyous with the receiving of the Torah. Because every Jew receives Kabbalah Torah according to his strength and according to who he is. And one needs to believe. It doesn't say one may believe, one could believe. It says v'tzarech, it's a necessity. It's necessary to keep Shabbos, it's necessary to put on tefillin, it's necessary to keep kosher, and it's necessary lahamin, to believe ki bevadai ata, that for sure now yoshuv me'avlosai, I will return to Hashem from my foolishness, v'yizdachech, and I will become cleansed, v'yiyazach, and I will stay cleansed. This is how Chassidus looks at the Parsha. We talk about Kabbalah Torah, we talk about becoming Jews anew. Everybody knows the Rashi in Chumash, Vayichan Sham Yisrael, the Jews rested there as one. It says Rashi, like one person with one heart. Isn't it marvelous the way the Ohr Ha Chaim HaKodesh points out in chapter 19, verse 7, that the oneness of the Jews, the Jews showed Hashem the strength of the oneness, and they all had one will, in Hashem, because 600,000 neshamas amru b'hashva diber echad k'omer yachdav. They all said together same words. And one didn't say it later than another one. And one didn't say it before the other one. And there was no one there to change it, to say it a little bit differently, with his own creativity. Ashrei olam she'uma zu b'seicha. Lucky is the world, fortunate is the world that such a nation like ours is in it. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he came to Mount Sinai, knew already the Mount Sinai, knew already what it looked like. Of course, we're talking about both maybe physically, but definitely on a spiritual level, because Hashem already had told him when he wanted to refuse to take out the Jewish people from Mitzrayim. Hashem showed him, this is the mountain that the Jewish people would receive the Torah on, and you will give it to them. So when he came there, not a second before, not a second after, Hashem told, so to say, his voice to go to the mountain to center on Moshe Rabbeinu. This is how the commentaries understand it. And v'gam b'chai yaminu la'olam, for generations to come, because of you, Moshe Rabbeinu, they will believe in all the prophets to come. This is how the Ohr Ha Chaim HaKodesh explains the word b'cha, ayadcha, through you. And the Rambam says, Maimonides says in the 8th chapter of Yesodei HaTorah, he says as follows: Kol navi sheyamid achar Moshe Rabbeinu, every navi, every prophet that will come after Moshe, our teacher, einanu ma'aminim bo mipnei ha'is. We don't believe in him because of the miracles that he will show us. Elo mipnei ha'mitzvah shetziva Moshe b'Torah, but rather because of the mitzvah that Hashem commanded us in the Torah. V'ama em nasan ois elov tishmon. And the Torah says that if he will give a sign, we will listen to him. Also, the Rambam says over there, Ke'amunas Moshe lo'haya mitzad ha'moivsim. The belief in Moshe was also not because of the miracles. El tzad sheshamu b'daber Hashem imay. They heard Hashem speaking with him. V'heim eidim ba'amitas nevuosei. We ourselves are the witnesses to the truth of his prophecy. And therefore the la'olam, the prophets forever, are just a automatic offshoot of our belief in Moshe Rabbeinu, that which we've heard with our own ears, Hashem speaking to him. There are so many important things in this week's parsha. The Ohr Ha Chaim HaKodesh says that there are basically 3 things that a Jew has to know: how to acquire Torah and how to grow in Torah, which we are growing our whole lives, from the minute we are born till the last day of our lives. And this is 3 things. First of all, one has to know that he has to toil in Torah. Number 2, that he should be humble. And number 3, that he should be with good friends, a good group of friends that are one with him, friends that are real friends, that are emotionally and caring friends. One doesn't make fun of the other one, one doesn't make away with the other one. In the bracha that we say before Kriya Shema every day, we say, Chemla Gedola B'Yiseira, Hashem did a great and very big chemla, love, by giving us the Torah. What's the word chemla? It could have been ahava, love, or chesed, or some other word. Why did Hashem use the word chemla? So the Malbim says in Yoel 10, Yoel Perek Yud, the word chemla means someone who has mercy, has pity on another person, and helps them without knocking them, without belittling them. This is the love from Hashem to us through the Torah. Hashem didn't lower to us, like Chazal say, but rather raised us to him on whatever level that might be. And so too the friends that a person has in his chevra. The third thing, the third condition in growing in Torah and Yiddishkeit is to have a group of friends that are tamim imay, that are true friends, not one that will double-face the person, go to someone else, make fun of the first person, and tell someone else about him. Doesn't dafka have to be lashon hara. Belittling the person in front of him or not in front of them is much, much worse than lashon hara. And that's how a person can grow, with those three conditions. The Ohr Ha Chaim HaKodesh says, in the beginning of the Parsha, why did this whole story with Yisro have to happen, where Moshe Rabbeinu took advice from him? What's this all about? Says the Heilig Ohr Ha Chaim, an unbelievable thing, that Hashem wanted to show us that He's not picking us to be His people because we're so smart. There could be some other person that's smarter than the Jewish people. It's true, like the Ohr Ha Chaim HaKodesh says, Yisrael always had this love for the Jewish people. He was always interested in their good. And when he heard the unbelievable miracles that Moshe described to him, says the Ohr Ha Chaim HaKodesh, Vayichad Yisrael. Rashi has something of a negative interpretation, but the Ohr Ha Chaim HaKodesh says just the opposite. That hearing that the angel in heaven of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, was negated, was killed, so that nothing should happen to the Jewish people, whether it's spiritually or physically or emotionally. This is something, Vayichad Yisrael, that his skin, his whole body started feeling it. He had this unbelievable feel because of his love for the Jewish people. And he said probably since he was in such a high position in his priesthood as a non-Jew before he converted, so he knew a little bit about these spiritual things, and this is something that was very special to him. Very little about what there is to speak about. May we, with Hashem's help, all as one, grow more and more in our receiving of the Torah, starting from this Shabbos, which such unbelievable iris, unbelievable spiritual lights and growth is given to us, every single one of us, as we saw. We are so much greater than we could think we are. We are, every Jew is Hashem's only child that He loves so much. Every Jew can't forget that he's a prince and princess, as Reb Shlomo Kalina said. And every Jew is also an only child, as the Baal Shem Tov said, and Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak of Lubavitch would say that not only is he an only child, but he's an only child that elderly parents prayed for years and years and years, and he was born towards the end of their life, and all that is only a parable to Hashem's real love to us, because Hashem loves us so much, so much. And the second that a Jew wants to better themselves, and we do better themselves, and we will do better, Hashem right away is excited and allows us to grow in that way and to become closer to Him. May Hashem help. We should feel the closeness. And all those nebuch that went away, especially in these generations, should come back feeling that gewaltically beautiful love. Let's have a joyous Shabbos and an accomplished Shabbos. Have good chips.